Up in the forecast later on.
Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A State Line Medical Center is set to receive thousands of coronavirus vaccine vials. That's part of the distribution plan in motion to get shots to healthcare workers in our region. A Machesney Park hardware store employees still helping customers find what they need thanks to the selfless action of a colleague. They now share a tight bond. And Christmas traditions around the state line look a little different this year. A weekend-long fest in Boone County kicks off tonight. Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. Mimi Murphy is off tonight. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker slates Mercy Health's Rockton Avenue campus as a COVID-19 vaccine distribution center. Of the 86,000 vials to be distributed outside of Chicago, just under 5,000 will go to the health center here. The Rockton Avenue campus was number one on a list of Illinois distribution centers in 50 counties with the highest per capita deaths to receive the first batches of vaccine.
Our local health department partners will then work with the hospitals in their area to identify the high risk and critical healthcare workers for the initial vaccine administration.
Pfizer and Moderna currently have vaccines under review by the FDA. AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson are also in the pipeline. Delayed coronavirus numbers from Thanksgiving weekend continue to come in. 13 patients in our viewing area are among 148 additional coronavirus-related deaths reported. This brings the state case total to just under 13,000. An additional 10,500 new confirmed cases means Illinois has seen over 770,000 positives since the pandemic began. Across the border, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers outlines a COVID-19 relief opportunity for restaurant and small business owners. $45 million of assistance is available from the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. Unlike previous grants, business owners will not have to apply. Instead, the Wisconsin Department of Revenue will directly contact businesses based on tax records. In total, the Badger State has distributed more than $220 million in small business assistance funds. A traffic accident in Rockford leaves 2 pedestrians hurt. Police posted a tweet about the crash around 4 this afternoon. It happened near North Main and Auburn Streets. That's near the edge of Greenwood Cemetery. Investigators say the victims' injuries are non-life-threatening. Traffic is still slow-moving. Drivers are asked to avoid the area. An overnight shooting in Loves Park leaves a man fighting for his life. It happened around 10 p.m. Thursday on Whispering Way near Mulford and Riverside. Police say neighbors reported hearing shots fired. A 40-year-old man is still in the hospital. No update on his condition other than it is serious. No word yet on identified suspects or if any arrests have been made connected to that shooting. A retired Chicago fire lieutenant is gunned down after visiting a popcorn store. Someone shot 65-year-old Lieutenant Dwayne Williams Thursday as he was walking back to his car. Police say a group of people attempted to steal Williams' Jeep Grand Cherokee. One of the men eventually pulled out a gun and shot Williams twice in the stomach. Police say Lieutenant Williams, who had a concealed carry license, fired his gun as well. The offenders immediately left the area. Williams later died at Christ Hospital.
What a tremendous loss. In his retirement, to be stopping to support a local business, to be gunned down in another senseless act of violence.
Lieutenant Williams joined the fire department in 1992. With carjackings up citywide, Chicago's chief of operations says they're working to deploy more resources to catch criminals before they strike. A Machesney Park man is alive thanks to his co-worker. Kevin Thompson works at the Lowe's on 173. He was diagnosed with liver cancer last year. Ari Bruckman reports Thompson's colleague turned a personal tragedy into a way to keep his friend alive.
Tried to get in full-time at the Rockford Lowe's, and there again the management really liked me, but somebody kept turning me down, so I had to stay at Lowe's Machesney.
A blessing or serendipity, whatever you call it, staying at the Machesney Park Lowe's may have saved Kevin Thompson's life.
Working there one night, picked something up, just really hurt my stomach. Thought maybe it was a hernia or something. They sent me to immediate care, and the doctor at immediate care said, you need to get to the emergency room right now.
Kevin was diagnosed with liver cancer in 2019.
And the transplant list right away, but My primary care doctor kept looking at the numbers, and all he would say is, "I'm sorry."
He continued to work, looking for a donor. It was about the same time when one of his co-workers lost a brother. Nick Arduino's brother Matthew died of a heart attack.
I asked if we knew of anybody that needed an organ donated or anyone that was on the list. And I said, yes, I work with a man at Lowe's. His name's Kevin. Let me contact him. It
was the call Kevin had been waiting for.
I got a call from Loyola. Simply said, "Kevin, this is Jeff at Loyola. Can you get here in 20 minutes? I got a liver for you."
The liver was a perfect match. And even better, Kevin has been healthy since the transplant last December. Nick's brother's legacy went to 4 different people, donating 4 organs in his death. Nick wants people to realize that being an organ donor can save lives.
I can't stress how important it is to really consider being an organ donor. I know we all go to the DMV and we all put it on our driver's license or our state IDs, but I don't think we really know what kind of impact it really has.
For your home team, I'm Ari Bruckman.
Kevin shared his story with Lowe's president and CEO, and last month, Nick was presented with a Lowe's Angel Award. His mom was there for the ceremony at the store. A popular holiday tradition in the city of Murals continues on despite the COVID-19 pandemic. This time last year, people lined the streets for Belvidere's annual Hometown Christmas Parade. Today, the event added a food truck festival and drive-through lights show at Belvidere Park to create a similar celebration, only at a distance. Local businesses set up festive displays, and some will hand out treats to cars as they pull through. Organizers hope the tweaked tradition will make the community's spirits bright.
And even in these trying times, the Park District is always trying to make sure that there's some sort of quality of life that's still being exhibited or provided to the residents in the community. And so we're grateful that they're able to do this. We're grateful that we're still able to do this.
Dylan Strachey was on hand for the celebration. He'll have a full report tonight on Eyewitness News at 9 and 10. U.S. Senate lawmakers released their annual defense spending bill. It does not include a repeal which protects tech companies from legal liabilities. And President Trump has threatened to veto it without that. Morgan Wright reports on the outlook for the bill while keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
The president continues to threaten to veto the National Defense Authorization Act, and Rhode Island Democratic Senator Jack Reed is upset.
It would be the first time in 60 years that we've not been able to pass the defense bill.
Reed is the top Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee and helped negotiate a bill that's endorsed by leaders from both parties in both the House and Senate. He says the defense bill is critically important.
There's the quality of life of soldiers and sailors, Marines and airmen. There's the defense of the nation.
President Trump says he'll veto the bill if it does not repeal a law that protects social media companies from legal liability for content on their sites. Reed says that's a poor excuse for a veto.
It's just, I think, rather weak. It's not part of the defense bill.
Reed says the president's veto threat is harmful to our troops and sends the wrong signal to our adversaries. But House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy supports the president's urgent efforts to crack down on the big tech companies.
They want to pick and choose what goes on.
And White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany says despite the veto threat,
the president will always defend our military, ensure that we get adequate defense funding.
House Democratic Leader Steny Hoyer says he expects both the House and Senate will overwhelmingly approve the bill.
If necessary, overriding a threatened veto by President Trump.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Morgan Wright.
Now your first warned weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Dew.
We wrapped up our work week with mild temperatures and lots of sunshine here in the state line, where we continue to see clear conditions now as we head on through the evening, including over downtown Beloit, which we're looking at using a Mercy L SkyTrack, looking at a beautiful shot over the Rock River as we are just about now out of daylight. Temperatures did make it into the middle 40s today throughout the area. 46 was the high today in Rockford. We should be in the middle to upper 30s this time of year for high temperatures. That's where most of the area sits for the time being. 38 is the current temperature here in Rockford. A little bit of a breeze makes it feel as though we're at 34, 38 in DeKalb, and 41 for current temperature up in Janesville. We also saw no rain or snow today, obviously, with just lots of sun, as I had mentioned, and clear skies now as we head on through the evening. We do have a few storm systems out to our east, bringing a little bit of rain and snow parts parts of the eastern U.S., but the rest of the country is just being dominated by high pressure, which is keeping most of that area very dry and mostly clear. We've talked a lot about high pressure systems keeping us very dry and sunny lately, so now we're going to learn why that's the case. Now, high pressure systems form typically underneath areas of where air converges in the upper parts of our atmosphere, sort of where air molecules sort of bunch together. That causes air to sink through the atmosphere, creating a system of high pressure down here at the surface. That's why air diverges away from systems of high pressure, because you have all this air sinking down toward the surface. It can't go into the ground. It's got to go somewhere, so it just sort of spreads across the landscape away from the system of high pressure. Now, the sinking air does two big things to influence our weather. One, it sort of draws out a lot of the moisture of our atmosphere, and of course you need moisture to form any sort of precipitation and even cloud cover, and it also makes the atmosphere very stable. You need unstable air to form rain or snow, really any form of precipitation or thick cloud cover, which is why it makes it very hard for precipitation or even thick cloud cover to occur near systems of high pressure. That's why we've seen such clear conditions lately as we wrapped up November and headed on into December. Now, I know it's only been 4 days, but so far we haven't seen any precipitation this month, and we are not really expecting any, or at least very little, if any, precipitation over the next several days. So we may go through the first week of December without seeing any precipitation whatsoever. Surprisingly, that's only happened once before in Rockford back in December of 2014. Every other December, through the first week of the month, we've seen at least a trace of rain or snow. This December of 2020, could possibly be the second. So as you can imagine, our futurecast is going to look a little boring here. We're going to hang on to clear conditions through the night tonight and through most of tomorrow. Now, by the latter part of the afternoon tomorrow, we'll see a little bit more cloud cover fill in. We're going to hang on to partly cloudy skies through the night, but then into Sunday, we're going to see more cloud cover fill in, bringing us partly to possibly mostly cloudy skies. And then we'll see a slight chance for a few flurries later on Sunday evening. Now, tonight, temperatures will drop into the mid-20s throughout the area, mostly clear skies, at least for most of tomorrow. Temperatures on the warmer side of normal, but a little bit cooler than they were today in the lower 40s. 40s pretty much through the rest of the week. A little bit of a cool down on Sunday with that slight chance for some flurries to wrap up the weekend. Temperatures in the upper 30s.
Thanks, Kevin. David Greenberg is in next to talk sports. A Cubs legendary broadcaster is stepping away. He's not going very far. David has all the info on his next move next.
Now, the Mapleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
Typically during the offseason, we're used to seeing players get a change of uniform, but how often is it that we see a broadcaster change his cap? You heard it right there. Known for his signature "Oh Baby" call. After 16 seasons as the TV play-by-play guy for the Chicago Cubs, veteran broadcaster Len Casper is heading to the South Side. Both the Cubs and White Sox confirmed late last night that Casper will transition to become the new radio broadcaster of the Chicago White Sox. In 2016, Casper was named the Illinois Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association. Cubs fans will definitely miss him, but they'll still get to hear his voice in the Crosstown Classic. The NHL is now aiming for the season to start in roughly mid-January after their initial date of January 1st seemed a bit unrealistic. The NHL and NHL Players Association have been going back and forth on potential schedules, formatting, and proper safety protocols, without the two getting any closer to coming to an agreement. The league has no plans to have a bubble for the 2020 season. Commissioner Gary Bettman said they are taking COVID very seriously and are focusing on the health and safety of all players, coaches, and staff members involved. If the season ended today, the College Football Playoff Committee has the top 4 teams looking as such, with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish coming in as the number 2 team in the country. Notre Dame will wrap up their regular season this weekend against the 1-9 Syracuse Orange. If there were ever a time to look forward to a game, it would be this one. No disrespect to the Qs, but with a win on Saturday, Notre Dame is on their way to play in the ACC title game against presumably Clemson. The Irish beat the Tigers about a month ago in South Bend 47-40 in double OT. However, that was without Clemson's star quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Head coach Brian Kelly has now had 4 straight 9+ win seasons at the helm. Coach, tell us how you do it.
It's really about preparing and putting together the kind of performance that needs to be consistent if you're really entertaining any thoughts of being a championship football team.
That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Let's have a look at our first Warren Interactive Radar, sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass and more. No rain anywhere near the state line or snow, just some clear skies overhead and more sunshine as we head into our Saturday tomorrow. 40s are back. It's going to be a little bit cooler than it was today in the lower 40s. That cool down is going to carry on as we head into Sunday. Still on the warmer side of normal, or at least closer to it. Temperatures should be in the upper 30s with a slight chance for a few flurries later on the day. Looking ahead to the next work week, 40s all around, lots of sunshine and very few, if any, chances for rain or snow.
Anything above those upper 30s is bonus. Thanks, Kevin. Stay safe.